Hi, I'm Makoto Takemiya, one of the contributors to Sora with updates for 4/20/2023. So today is another day of hard work, and we're working on the bi-weekly dev updates, which will be out soon. So look forward to that. There's also going to be, in the next few days, some exciting announcements about the substrate-to-substrate bridge. So keep an eye out for these as well. I won't say when it's going to be because I don't want to build expectations, but there's going to be some cool stuff coming out. Besides that, I just want to reiterate some of what I've said in previous videos about Sora being a unique system. Actually, Sora, I would say, is unique among all the cryptocurrencies in the world in that it's the only one that has an active and rational monetary policy. So most cryptocurrencies kind of focus on not having a monetary policy as their main feature, so Bitcoin being an example of this. However, if you want to do better than the existing fiat-based systems, you have to have a flexible and active monetary policy. So what that means is you have to have the flexibility to adapt the money supply and allocation to match to meet the needs of the economy. So, for example, central banks do this by providing liquidity swaps, different repo agreements, in order to help provide liquidity in the economy as needed, and helps commercial banks provide credit, which then can be used to provide loans, for example, to companies to build things in the economy, and then that expands the productive output. However, many central banks actually have very bad economic policies, and they focus only on maybe price stability or exchange rate stability and not economic growth. But to push humanity forward, you need to focus on economic growth, and you need to provide credit in a rational way according to some allocation plan, because if you don't have a designer of your economy, you won't have a design, and things will not be very pretty. You want to have a beautifully designed economy and to create high growth. So Sora is a way to do this. So with Sora, we can build structures around the world, even working with some governments around the world, in order to create and allocate money with some democratic oversight. And this kind of gives us the flexibility of having rational monetary policy and still being decentralized and having oversight among the token holders as to how the money is allocated at a high level. And this can help prevent things like politicization of monetary policy. You don't want to have politicians deciding just give people money for to buy votes and things like that. And that's another issue. But yeah, many governance structures in countries are quite bad, and I hope in the future we can contribute to this through new and innovative ideas like the Sora Parliament. Well, it's not really a new idea. It's actually from ancient Athens, but in modern times, these ideas are new again. So time is a circle. So I hope that we can contribute to the governance dialogue in many countries. To use an analogy, let's say that monetary systems are competing against each other in a race. And Bitcoin would be kind of like having a car that is in autopilot that you can't change the speed of, and the steering wheel is locked, so you can't turn. It'll work for a while, and in fact, there could be situations where that is better than having the ability to steer your car and things like that. However, eventually you're going to have a turn in the road, and you're just going to either crash into a wall or go off a cliff. And that's not really going to be able to compete against flexible monetary systems like fiat currencies that are actually fairly resilient because they can actually adapt monetary policy as needed. And that's both good and bad. So if you have good central planners, they can do a good job. If you have bad ones, you'll have a bad job. But on the aggregate, monetary policy around the world has been able to provide credit and resources to many producers to build many new things. And some countries do better jobs than others at this. So fiat currencies would be like having a Toyota, or I don't know, something like a Yugo, a car that is reasonably spec'd and able to steer and change speeds as needed. But Sora really, I would say more is like a Lamborghini, that it has a fast race engine. It's very fast and efficient. You focus on high growth, and you're also able to steer and adapt this car. So Bitcoin and pretty much every other cryptocurrency is stuck in just going straight, and that's has advantages and disadvantages, but eventually it won't be able to outcompete and win the race against monetary systems that are more flexible. So Sora is really the only project I know of that's actually taking this flexibility and putting it into the core part of the allocation of the token supply. So hopefully that gives you some perspective. And I think we're still really early. The Sora economy is very small compared to traditional economies. And we're going to have a long period of growth before we reach the full potential that we have. So let's work hard every day. And with that, I've daily network stats. In the last 24 hours, there were 837 transactions on the Sora network, 560 of which were swaps, 51 were Demeter farming related transactions, 50 were transfers, and there were 117 active accounts on the Sora network. So with these fast updates, let's go back to work.